You found yourself on another edition of Let 'Em Know Kings United, and on today's episode, the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Sacramento Kings stepped up with big wins, especially for Sacramento. They got a much-needed win against Atlanta, and the Cleveland Cavaliers got their 8th straight win against the Orlando Magic, while the Bulls fell off and had an epic collapse in Phoenix, thanks to one part in Kevin Durant and another part proving to me that the Bulls are not ready for the moment. We got a lot to talk about right here on Let 'Em Know Kings United. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time for the post-game reaction podcast of the Cleveland Cavaliers, Sacramento Kings, and the Chicago Bulls. This is Let 'Em Know Kings United. Let 'em know, Nation, you already know what time it is. Welcome to another edition of Let 'em Know Kings United, your Sacramento Kings, Cleveland Cavaliers, and Chicago Bulls post-game reaction podcast. And I'm your host, Darla Weisberg. Thank you so much for tuning into today's show. And you can find Let 'em Know Kings United, which is 100% completely free and available on Amazon Music, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Radio Public, Pandora, and wherever else you want to listen to this show. Give the show a follow on those platforms. If you can please turn on your notifications so you know about the next episode. Please rate, spread the word out to your friends, and give Let 'Em Know Kings United a 5-star review on whatever podcast platform you want to listen to this on. It is a great way to support the podcast, and I appreciate every single one of you for tuning in. And the hottest team in the NBA, the Cleveland Cavaliers, just continue to keep the good vibes rolling as the Cavaliers cruise past the Orlando Magic 126-99 for their 8th straight win. And Sam freaking Merrill, this man belongs in the three-point contest. If he's not in the three-point contest in Indianapolis, Indiana, we got problems. Okay, I will literally email the NBA and yell at them saying, why isn't Sam Merrill in the three-point shooting contest? Because this man was absolutely cooking from deep. Sam Merrill stepped up big time. He hit his first 5 threes and scored 20 of his 26 points in the first half. Well, of course, Donovan Mitchell was doing his damn thing with 25 points and 13 assists for the Cleveland Cavaliers, who shot 53% from three-point range, 53% from long distance. Sam Merrill had a big part to play in that, but that is absolutely outstanding for Cleveland. At one point, they led by 36 points. And simply put, the Cleveland Cavaliers dominated. Absolutely dominated from start to finish. Wire to wire, complete domination. And once again, they got off to one of the best starts I've ever seen this Cleveland Cavalier team play. They have been consistent in the getting hot starts on both ends of the floor. I am really, really impressed, though, of how the Cleveland Cavaliers have played on the defensive end. The Cavaliers' win streak is one short of the longest this season. Set by two teams, the Orlando Magic from November 15th to December 1st, and the LA Clippers from December 2nd to the 20th. And all of it has been accomplished without Darius Garland and Evan Mobley, the second and third leading scorers in this team. Cleveland is just continuing to find a way to win. Finding a way to win with their defense. Jarrett Allen. This dude deserves to be an all-star by now. I'm going to continue to campaign it until the NBA learns it, because he has set a franchise record with 12 straight double-doubles tonight. 12 straight. And this is a guy that I thought he was going to be soft. I thought this was going to be a guy that the Cleveland Cavaliers were not going to improve because. But the Cavaliers right now are a team that are embracing their roles and they are thriving in it. J.B. Bickerstaff said each of our guys is focusing and thriving in their roles. And J.A. is thriving in his role clearly. He credited Allen for the team's quick stats during the streak. J.A. wins the tip, and we got our first possession. Then our defense has just been incredible. In my opinion, the Cleveland Cavaliers deserve to be the number one defense in the entire NBA. Don't even get me started about how many other teams cannot play this elite level of defense. And I am specifically talking to you, Chicago Bulls. You need to learn from the Cleveland Cavaliers how to play defense. But don't worry, I am going to go off on the Chicago Bulls in the last segment of today's show. Our guys have been elite at the end of the floor, and when you are that good, you're going to give yourself a chance to get those starts. The Magic had 7 points and around the 6-minute mark. That is difficult to overcome. And my God, this Orlando Magic team, I get that they are young. I get that they are talented. I get that Jalen Suggs is an absolute stud. Paolo Banchero, who got, I believe 18 points and 6 assists for the Orlando Magic. And by the way, Franz Wagner played 24 minutes in the second half of back-to-back after missing 8 games with a sprained ankle. He scored 17 points. Paolo and Franz Wagner did get theirs. But my God, the story of the game was the Cleveland Cavaliers' defense and quick offense in transition. They were just humming, especially on the defensive end of the floor. Forcing turnovers, getting buckets in transition, leaving Sam Merrill open for threes, which is a big mistake. Donovan Mitchell was doing his thing. Jared Allen continues to be the most dominant player in the NBA right now. No disrespect to Joel Embiid, who scored 70 points against Victor Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs, and or Karl Anthony Towns, who scored 62 points, which was absolutely fake stats because they fell in to the biggest trap in the history of traps in the Charlotte Hornets, which, oh, by the way, got Kyle Lowry off a trade, and Terry Rozier is going to the Miami Heat. First and foremost, this is not a Miami Heat segment. I'm talking about Cleveland here. I love that trade for the Miami Heat. I think the Miami Heat got better as far as the scoring and the leadership aspect, but Eric Spoelstra has that Heat culture that the Cavaliers wish they have, but they do have a culture right now in playing defense and getting better on the defensive end of the floor. Max Strus, Dean Wade, and Isaac Okoro and Donovan Mitchell all hit 3-pointers in the first 5 minutes, staying the Cavs to an 18-7 lead, and then Sam Merrill got involved. And Sam Merrill said, I think there's definitely a high level of confidence and trust in each other. Because of all the new guys and having a new kind of system, we certainly had to grow, and I think we have that right now. You damn right you do, Sam Merrill. You damn right, because this Cleveland Cavaliers team right now is the best team in the NBA. Since mid-December, the Cleveland Cavaliers have the best record in the league. They are second place in the Central Division. They are 3 games back out of the Milwaukee Bucks, who have a big baseball series Wednesday and Friday. Let me tell you something. If Cleveland can sweep off the Milwaukee Bucks, which they dominated comfortably at home, but they're at Milwaukee, and normally Milwaukee is a tough place to play, especially with Giannis Antetokounmpo and Damian Lillard and or Brook Lopez, which I believe Adrian Griffin will have his Bucks ready for those 2 games. So it's going to be a really, really good test for the Cleveland Cavaliers, especially with how hot they're playing right now. But if they keep playing like this, if they dominate Milwaukee, if they're doing what they're doing, the Cleveland Cavaliers will not only be first place in the Central Division, But I think they're going to be one of the top 2 seeds in the entire NBA and maybe the Eastern Conference. Right now, the Cleveland Cavaliers are on the tail of the Boston Celtics. I know we're in an 8-game winning streak, but I do have a right to brag a little bit. Paolo Banchero said you can just tell the way they're playing. They're on a win streak. We played that team when they're fully healthy, and a lot of those guys have a bunch of confidence. I think they started off making some tough shots, and it was kind of over from there. Really, we never really got back in it. Paolo Banchero, here's the answer for you. The Orlando Magic are an immature team. They are young, and they are talented. Yes, Paolo Banchero is an absolute stud. Franz Wagner is an absolute stud. Jalen Suggs and Cole Anthony are beasts on the defensive end. But when you lack maturity and you lack competitiveness for 48 minutes, you're not going to get it done. And credit to the Cleveland Cavaliers. They punched the Orlando Magic in the mouth, and Orlando just didn't respond. But Cleveland simply dominated again. 56% from the field tonight. 52% from three-point range compared to 46% for the Orlando Magic from the field and 38% from three. The rebounds, 39-34 in favor of Cleveland. The assists, 29-25 in favor of Cleveland. The steals, 10-7 in favor of Cleveland. The blocks, 4-0 in favor of Cleveland. Points in the paint, 40-34 in favor of Cleveland. Fast break points, 16-7 in favor of Cleveland. Just another dominant performance from the Cleveland Cavaliers, more specifically on the defensive end of the floor, and Sam freaking Merrill. This dude belongs in the three-point contest. In my opinion, he deserves to be in the starting lineup. Now, I know JB ain't gonna do that because the starting lineup of Max Strus, Donovan Mitchell, Jared Allen, Isaac Okoro, and Dean Wade have been rolling, but in my opinion, Sam Merrill needs to be the sixth man off the damn bench. 26 points, 3 rebounds, assists, a steal, 8 of 13 from three-point range. Donovan Mitchell, he was doing his thing with 25 points, 13 assists, 4 steals. He was 9 of 19 for the field. Jared Allen got his 12th straight double-double with 14 points and 11 rebounds tonight. George Niang, another great game off the bench for him with 11 points, 5 rebounds, and an assist and a block. Craig Porter Jr., he did well. 12 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds, shooting 5 of 7 for the field. Really good stuff. Max Strus, he was getting loose early. 10 points, 2 of 4 for the field with 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal. For the Magic, Paolo Banchero, he was the only one scoring at will for the Orlando Magic, to be honest with you. 18 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists. Mo Wagner did really well on the bench with 15 points, 4 rebounds, and assists. But again, the Cleveland Cavaliers continue to be the gold standard of the NBA since mid-December. And the way they're playing right now, I could see them as competition for teams like the Boston Celtics, teams like the Philadelphia 76ers. The Cavaliers just need to keep rolling. They're going to be in a really tough test against the Orlando Magic, but I am really proud of the Cleveland Cavaliers right now. They are clicking on all cylinders, and if they beat the Bucks and they extend their winning streak to 10, we might be looking at new number 1 contenders in the Eastern Conference. I'm just saying. Coming up next, the Sacramento Kings on a 4-game losing streak coming into the game against Atlanta needed a much-needed win, and they sure did get it. And somebody that I didn't like stepped up big time. We're going to tell you who it was and break down the win when we come back on Let 'Em Know Kings United. We're back on Let 'Em Know Kings United, and Sacramento was coming into last night's game against the Atlanta Hawks off a 4-game losing streak. The first time they've done that since opening day of last season. But Sacramento got a much-needed win against a really, really shorthanded Atlanta Hawks squad, 122-107, and out of all people, Harrison Barnes, the Black Falcon, the longest tenured Sacramento King, or the second longest tenured Sacramento King behind De'Aaron Fox, stepped up big. 32 points. For the first time since the opening game of the year against the Utah Jazz, when he scored 33 points. He was 1 point off of matching what he did on opening day, scoring 32 points. Mike Brown was really, really proud of Harrison Barnes. He said, I thought he was really aggressive. He scored in multiple areas on the floor tonight. That was a lot of fun to see. And the Hawks were really, really shorthanded, especially with no ice Trae Young, who suffered a concussion in Saturday's loss to the most dominant team in the NBA right now, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Mike Brown said, down the stretch, we basically went to him 3 or 4 straight times, or called his number 3 or 4 straight times. And good things happen almost every time he touched the ball. He had a great game from start to finish on the offensive end of the floor. De'Aaron Fox was doing his thing per usual. I mean, a lot of other players stepped up for, De'Aaron Fox did not do his thing. He did not score like 20 points. He had 12. He had another off game, in my opinion. But also, Malik Monk, 13 points and 8 assists off the bench. Outstanding. Keegan Murray added 13 points, which was really, really good. But ladies and gentlemen, you better recognize that Domantas Sabonis right now is just on another freaking level. For the 25th straight time, this man got a double-double. 14 points, 21 big-time rebounds. He just tied Oscar Robertson for the second longest streak in franchise history. Robertson owns the record at 29 in a row. I love what Domas is doing right now. He is controlling the offensive boards and the defensive boards. Domantas is just on another freaking level. Jared Allen and Domantas Sabonis are cut from the same cloth this season. They both should be all-stars. If one of them is and one of them isn't, I'm going to have problems. But in this case, Domantas Sabonis deserves to be an all-star right now. If you didn't vote for Domantas Sabonis, I mean, you have no right to talk to me. You have no right to listen to the show. If you did not vote for Domantas Sabonis to go to the All-Star game, he deserves to go to the All-Star game the way that he's been playing. But anyway, about the Atlanta Hawks, DeJounte Murray, who has been big time for Atlanta since all these trade rumors around DeJounte Murray are going around. He had 35 points and 10 rebounds for the Atlanta Hawks. Bogey scored 18, and Clint Capella had 11 points and 12 rebounds. Quinn Snyder said, we've had some good opportunities. The ball just didn't go in for a stretch. We hung in there, and we kept battling. Obviously, not the result you want, but these are the types of performances that you can build on. I thought Atlanta was really, really resilient. Despite the loss, you cannot fault the Atlanta Hawks for being absolutely resilient. I need to give them, the Atlanta Hawks, credit for the way they battled all night and they kept themselves into the game. But ultimately, I need to give the Kings credit because they outscored Atlanta 30-16 in the second quarter to build a 57-40 lead. They finished the game outscoring in the paint, 56-40 advantage. The bench outscored the bench of the Atlanta Hawks 43-19. And ladies and gentlemen, the seas have parted. Hallelujah. Thank you, Lord Jesus, because the Sacramento Kings finished the game 80% from the foul line. It is about damn time that Mike Brown forced the Sacramento Kings to learn how to make their free throws. Now, I don't know if this is going to be sustainable. Maybe for this game, I give them credit. If they continue to prove to me that they can make like 80% of free throws consistently, then maybe I would say something else. But I love the fact that Sacramento went in. Sacramento responded after Atlanta made a run because you knew that the Atlanta Hawks were going to make a run, okay? They have one of the best scoring offenses in the NBA this year. They knew that the Atlanta Hawks were going to make a run. They fit it. They responded in a 13-2 run spurt late, but also responded in a 66-42 lead early in the third period with a 16-2 run to get, or Atlanta responded with a 16-2 run to get within 10. I'm sorry. Sacramento responded with a 13-2 run late in the third. Malik Monk said basketball is a game of runs, and they made their run. We usually fold when another team makes a run and let them all the way back in it. We didn't fold. We kept our foot on their necks and finally finished the game how we're supposed to. Finally, the Sacramento Kings learned how to finish, and they got a much-needed and well-deserved win over the Atlanta Hawks. They are going to face... Do I even have to say them? Do I even have to mention their name? A team from San Francisco with Steph Curry and Draymond Green. I'm going to say that. But it's not about Kings and Warriors, which, in my opinion, is going to be a dynamite game on TNT, by the way. Sacramento needed a game to, respond and build off of. This is one of those type of games. Good win, much-needed win at that. They shot 46% from the field, 31% from three-point range, almost 90% from the free throw line, 24 of 27. Outstanding game for Sacramento from the foul line. The rebounds, 51-50 in favor of Sacramento, a 1-point advantage, but 13 of those rebounds were offensive glass, all credit to Atlanta. The assists were 22-19 in favor of Sacramento. The steals were 8-2 in favor of the Kings, but the blocks advantage goes to Atlanta 7-2. The fast break points, 15-7 in favor of Sacramento. The points in the paint, the Kings won that battle 56-40. It was a really well-played game for Sacramento for the most part. Harrison Barnes, the Black Falcon, the longest-tenured King, at 32 points, 4 rebounds, and a steal, and he was 10 of 20 from the field, 4 of 8 from 3, 8 of 8 from the free throw line. Outstanding game for him. De'Aaron Fox, it wasn't his best game as far as his shooting goes, but he's contributed in many different ways. He finished with 12 points, 5 of 16 from the field, which was completely an off night for him, but he had 3 rebounds, an assist, and also a big-time steal, and 2 of 3 for the free throw line. I can take that. Kevin Huerter, against his former team in 26 minutes, only 8 points. I'm a little worried about that, but he shot 2 of 5 from 3, but he had 2 rebounds and 3 assists. Not bad. Malik Monk, 13 points off the bench with 8 assists. He was 4 of 6 from the field, 5 of 5 from the free throw line. Domantas, Mr. Double-Double, Triple-Double, walking machine Sabonis, needs to be an NBA All-Star right freaking now. 14 points, 6 assists, 2 steals, 21 big rebounds, 21 big-time rebounds, and shot 6 of 6 from the free throw line. I mean, come on now. Is anybody gonna doubt me now that Domantas Sabonis needs to be an all-star? Come on now. If he's not an all-star, what the hell are we doing? Trey Lyles, great game off the bench with 10 points. Also, Sasha Vezenkov really stepped up off the bench. For Atlanta, DeJounte Murray did really well with 35 points with 10 rebounds and 6 assists, a double-double for him. Bogey, 18 points, 2 of 8 from 3 with 4 assists and 2 rebounds. Clint Capella was a beast on the boards, 11 points, 12 rebounds, 2 big-time blocks and assists, but he also went 4 of 10 from the field. But this was a much-needed, well-deserved big win for the Sacramento Kings. And it was big because now Sacramento can build off this. They can build on it. I hope they bring the same energy to Golden State. But on the road, in the Chase Center, especially with Steph Curry and Draymond Green coming back, Domantas Sabonis, I need you to do me a favor and own Draymond Green like you own Anthony Davis for the LA Lakers, okay? But good win for the Sacramento Kings. Coming up next, this is going to hurt. It's not that Kevin Durant beat the Chicago Bulls. The Bulls beat the Bulls. And I will explain why when we come back on Let 'Em Know Kings United. And I got 2 words for you. Buckle up. We're back on Let 'Em Know Kings United. And you know what? This game got me PTSD because it reminded me of what the Sacramento Kings did against the Phoenix Suns. When the Sacramento Kings played against the Phoenix Suns, the Kings had a 22-point lead, and then the Phoenix Suns came back, and the Kings had an epic collapse. The Chicago Bulls had a 23-point lead. A 23-point lead against the Phoenix Suns team that were playing on the second night of a back-to-back after narrowly escaping the Indiana Pacers, who is still the number 1 offense in the NBA. The Bulls allowed the Suns to come back from 23 down, and the Phoenix Suns, for the 9th straight game, beat the Bulls 115-113. And by the way, the Phoenix Suns are on a 5-game winning streak coming in. They extended it to 6. And I gotta tell you one thing. I was so freaking mad watching this game live. I was watching the game like I was in the bathroom trying to do my bedtime routine, doing what I gotta do. The minute that I saw Kevin Durant hit the game winner, the game-winning shot, which was where Alex Caruso tried to swat the shot from behind. Patrick Williams flew in and tried to swap the shot. Caruso and Patrick Williams were trying to defend Kevin Durant, but Durant calmly adjusted in midair, slightly moving the ball to the side to avoid a block, and drained a 17-foot jumper anyway. Kevin Durant, he is tough. He is one of the best scorers in the modern era in the NBA. I think there's top 3 scorers in the modern era of basketball. LeBron, Raymond James, Steph Curry, and Kevin Durant. That's my top 3 right now. That's my top 3. Kevin Durant finished with 43 points, 8 assists, and 6 rebounds one night after scoring a 40-bag over the Indiana Pacers, which they won, by the way. Now, I will say this. The Chicago Bulls did a really good job of defending Bradley Beal and Devin Booker, limiting them to 18 points and 16 points. But it was a frantic final minute that saw Kevin Durant hit a wide-open three-pointer after an offensive rebound by Drew Eubanks to give the Suns the lead with 29 seconds remaining. But DeMar DeRozan responded with a short jumper to tie it at 113 in the 20 with 22 left. I had no problem with that. But I do have a problem with this, though. That set up in the final possession, Grayson Allen threw the inbounds pass to Nurkic, who found Durant. When they pulled up for the jumper with Bulls defenders draped all over him, it went in anyway. Kevin Durant is just that damn good. I mean, I could be like all mad and say what I gotta say, and I got a lot of talk about the Bulls. But Kobe White said Kevin Durant was Kevin Durant. Yeah, he's tough. And Durant said, I know these games are high stakes and there's a lot on the line, but at the end of the day, it's still hoop. And Durant remains that damn good with playing the basketball, with playing the game of basketball. Now, the Bulls did really well in some aspects, though. The first half, the Bulls shot the lights out. They set the tone with a great first half. The second half, though, I think the Bulls are immature. They're kind of like the Orlando Magic in a way. When they lose composure, they lose their standard. When the Bulls learn to play a complete 48 minutes, when they learn to keep the same energy that they did in the first quarter, we would have ultimately had the biggest win that the Bulls had in a long time, because we haven't beat the Phoenix Suns in the last couple of years. In the last couple of years, we couldn't beat the Suns. But again, Phoenix showed the Bulls that they are not ready for the moment. And I want to give credit to the Phoenix Suns. I want to give credit to Frank Vogel. I need to give credit to Kevin Durant because they stepped up, they showed their resilience, and they killed the Bulls in every single aspect of the game, especially in the second half. Billy Donovan said there's been some games this year, quite honestly, that we lost, that we had no right to be upset about. This is a game that you could be upset because you poured your heart and soul into it and came up short. White led the Bulls with 26 points, and DeMar DeRozan added 21 points. Nikola Vucevic, another double-double, 19 points and 17 rebounds. A very solid game. The Bulls dominated much of the first half, up with a 19-point lead at one point, and the Suns were playing in the second game of the back-to-back and looked like a tired team in the first half. Kevin Durant went off to a really slow start. He had 4-13 for the field, including 0 for 6 on the three-point range. But in the second half, Kevin Durant was just Kevin Durant, and the Chicago Bulls couldn't do nothing about it. But I want to talk to you specifically, Billy Donovan. You said that this is a game that the Bulls poured their heart and soul into it and came up short. Simply put, Billy Donovan, you are terrible. Terrible. You got out-coached, especially in the second half. How could you not know what hedging and icing a screen means, especially with Kevin Durant in the basketball? If you would hedge, if you learn how to hedge, you would push Kevin Durant out. And if you learn to ice a screen with Kevin Durant to push him out of the sideline, make somebody else beat us. Make Devin Booker or Bradley Beal or Grayson Allen, who, by the way, we did a really good job defending Grayson Allen, beat us. But you allow Kevin Durant to beat you? That is just pathetic. That is just pathetic. And I will say this, the referees, I mean, look, I'm not the person to blame the referees, okay? Yes, they made some ticky-tack calls at the end of the day, but I'm not going to blame them. I'm not going to blame Kevin Durant because he's Kevin Durant. I'm not going to blame the refs because at the end of the day, they made some ticky-tack calls, but I'm not going to be mad. I'm not going to be mad at the refs. I'm going to be mad at the Chicago Bulls because Billy Donovan does not know how to hedge or ice a screen or call a play in the last possession with 1.6 seconds left on the clock. Kobe White was the damn reason that the Chicago Bulls had a shot in this game. Give the ball to Kobe White and let him have his clutch moment. But no, you don't do that. Instead, you remain so selfish and so arrogant that you give it to DeMar DeRozan, who is old as hell. Old as hell. DeMar DeRozan, he ain't clutch anymore. He ain't clutch. I'm sorry. It's time for Kobe White to get some clutch shots. It's time for Kobe White to grow in these moments. And oh, by the way, Patrick Williams, you are soft on the defensive end. You gotta learn how to help. And by the way, I am speaking to the entire Chicago Bulls team on this. Y'all are soft. The only guy that has shown us some intensity on the defensive end is Alex Caruso. When Alex Caruso helps you guys out because you don't have a damn clue how to play defense, you gotta help Caruso. No wonder why Alex Caruso could potentially be traded. He could potentially be traded to the Sacramento Kings at the trade deadline, and maybe the Sacramento Kings would be a better team defensively. I do not want that to happen, but that could be a possibility. The Chicago Bulls has shown me in this game that they are not ready. They are not ready to meet the moment right now. Billy Donovan, you don't know how to hedge. You don't know how to ice screens. Actually, Chicago, you don't know how to defend screens. You don't. You don't know how to hedge. You don't know how to ice. You don't know how to keep your back to the sideline, seeing ball, seeing man. You don't. You are basically the worst team I've ever seen playing defense. It is pathetic. If you learn how to lock in for 48 minutes like you did in the first quarter, then maybe we would have won. But no, you collapsed, you broke down, you were immature, you lost your composure, and Kevin Durant kicked your ass. That's simple. That's simple. I'll be damned if you lose to the LA Lakers. I'll be damned if you lose to LeBron James, Darvin Ham, who is the second worst coach in the NBA right now besides Billy Donovan, and the $78 million worth of crap, which is Monty Williams. Disgraceful. Disgraceful by Chicago. Disgraceful. Phoenix shot 51% for the field. 41% from three. The rebounds, the Bulls won the rebounding battle 47-39. The assists 32-25 in favor of Phoenix. The points in the paint, Chicago won that battle 52-46. The fast break points were 15-6 in favor of the Chicago Bulls, especially in the first half. But again, you collapsed. You collapsed in the second half. You lost a 23-point lead when Andre Drummond got a technical foul. And in the moment where Alex Caruso got his fourth foul, I said to myself, this game is over. This game is over. And Kevin Durant proved my point. He's just tough. DeMar DeRozan, 21 points. Kobe White, 26 points. Caruso, 15 points. 3 assists. Kobe White also had 10 rebounds, a double-double for him, 9 assists. He almost had a trip dub. Vucci Main, 19 points, 17 rebounds, 7 assists, 9-17 for the field. Again, I don't know why he's shooting threes when Kobe White was shooting 4 of 5 from three-point range. He should have had the ball. He should have had the ball in the clutch moments. I'm just saying. Sumu did really well, again, off the bench with 13 points and 2 steals. Kevin Durant, he is just that damn tough. 43 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, a steal, 2 blocks, 16-32 for the field, 6-15 from 3. A complete game for him tonight. Bradley Beal finished with 18 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Grayson Allen, 9 points, 3 of 4 from three-point range. It wasn't as bad, but he got going, especially late. And once again, you can't beat the Suns. The Suns just swept the Bulls 2-0 in the regular season series. Because the Bulls are not ready for the moment. Defensively, you don't know how to help. You don't know how to help Alex Caruso. Billy Donovan, you don't know how to call plays. You don't know how to hedge. You don't know how to ice the screen. And you don't know how to defend ball screens. Especially with Kevin Durant. Absolutely gutless. Absolutely disgusting by the Chicago Bulls. If you lose to the LA Lakers the same way that you lost tonight, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm starting to regret ever covering the Bulls. To be perfectly honest with you, I'm starting to regret it. They got to show me that they want me back. I'm going to be watching the Lakers and the Bulls live on Thursday. But like I said, God help them if they lose to LeBron James. God help them. That's going to do it for today's edition of Let 'Em Know Kings United. You can find this show on Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Radio Public, Pandora, wherever else you want to listen to this show. Give the show a follow on those platforms. Turn on your notifications so you know about the next show. Please rate, spread the word out to your friends, and give Let 'Em Know Kings United a 5-star review on whatever podcast platform you want to listen to this on. I'm your host, Skylar Weisberg. I appreciate every single one of you for tuning in, and I will see you next time for another edition of Let 'Em Know Kings United.